we'll head now to some more NBA rumors here,
Let's
Harrison. We'll start off with Dirk Nowitzki, and this may or may not be his last year. Now, Mark Cuban says it's under 50% because Cuban at least kind of thinks, hey, the Mavs could play well. Maybe they're a playoff threat. Dirk wants to come back for one more season.
Dirk is just going to kind of continue playing until he kind of gets bored. I mean, if you're Dirk and you can just keep signing small little, just little deals as we go, a little $3 million, $4 million a year deal, just only 1 year contract, go ahead. I mean, if you're Dirk, you got nothing to lose. You just got to hang out with the franchise that you've known all the time. You can hang out with Mark Cuban, Rick Carlisle, and just rake in some $4 or $5 million checks without state income tax. It's a win-win for Dirk. I mean, he's going to end up owning like 10% of the franchise anyway after all this. So.
Dirk is no longer prime Dirk, but he's still a decent enough player for you. And
and
he can contribute off the bench or as what is likely the fifth option on the Mavs next year.
The one thing that confuses me is that what are the Mavs going to do next offseason when they inevitably lose both DeAndre Jordan and most likely Dirk? I mean, at that point, they don't even have anyone down low that is remotely close to a project player. I mean, Dwight Powell is no good. Maxi Kleber is a bench guy, maybe. After that, they don't have anyone coming off the bench.
Get involved in 2019 free agency.
There you go. Maybe Karl Anthony Towns is going to come to the Mavericks. Oh, no. It's just I like what the Mavs are doing. I love the backcourt. I'm just a little worried about the age in the front court. But, hey, you can figure that out later. This is the NBA.
All right, how many more years do you think Dirk has left in him?
Ooh.
It's obviously at least one.
I think Dirk
so more
plays
than one.
this year. I think he plays next year.
Think 2 more years?
Dirk doesn't want like some wild retirement tour. I think he's just going to play until he decides not to. Like, Man is doing the same thing. There's just no reason for him to stop playing. He's 40 years old. He can still get buckets. Screw it. You get $5 million a year.
Yeah, so Dirk, again, has not technically re-signed yet with the Mavericks, but that is going to happen after they declined his option to free up some more money. So Dirk will be back with Dallas. There's no doubt about that one. Next up, and we got the old conflicting reports here, Marcus Smart and the Kings. NBC Sports in Boston had said the Knicks were prepping an offer sheet for Marcus Smart.
Oh, really?
The Sacramento Bee says, no, they're not.
Oh, interesting. So a
who knows?
newspaper in Boston is telling us what a team in California is going to do. You know what this sounds like to me? This sounds like Marcus Smart's camp is trying to force a deal from the Celtics. And fun fact, it's not going to work because Danny Ainge does not bite on this stuff. He doesn't put up with shenanigans like this. And it also it's kind of embarrassing for the Smart camp that the Kings almost basically instantly came out and were like, no, that's not true at all.
It'd be an intriguing lineup
it makes no
because
sense.
You have De'Aaron Fox, who I like defensively. You have Marcus Smart, who I love
Who
defensively. Yeah, exactly. Who's your shooter?
You have 3 players on that team who really can't score in De'Aaron Fox, Marcus Smart, and Willie Cauley-Stein. No one else on that starting lineup can score. Yeah, sure. But Marcus Smart on this Kings team makes no sense at all. 0 sense. Why would he go to the Kings, and why would the Kings want him? He doesn't fit into anything they do. If you want a new two-guard,
because it's the Kings. There you go.
Just start Buddy Hield. I don't know why you want Marcus Smart. Like it doesn't make a lot of sense. And I think the Celtics know that. They look at the Kings roster. They know it doesn't make sense. Smart is going to come back to the Celtics on that qualifying offer. I don't think he's going to get the long-term deal that he's expected. So we'll see what ends up happening with Marcus Smart and the Celtics. I still think that professionally, this relationship is fine. Apparently, Marcus Smart and Danny Ainge saw each other at Summer League, and we're totally fine chapping it up. So I don't think there's a personal issue here. This is just business.
I agree. I think that Marcus Smart wants a big money offer. The RFA market has been non-existent really outside of Zach LaVine's deal. So I think what you'll see end up happening is that Marcus Smart will play on the qualifying offer. And then next year, when there is more money available, when he is an unrestricted free agent, he'll have more interest.
Yeah, and again, I want to make this clear for Celtics fans out there who've been a little bit scared. The whole hurt and disgusted thing with Marcus Smart, the report came out the next day that he was over it. Marcus Smart is an adult. He understands this is a business and this isn't personal. I'm sure that Danny Ainge reached out to him and be like, hey, this is not personal. We love you. Like, you're the longest tenure player on this team. This is just the nature of being a restricted free agent. And it is. This is technically, you need to understand this. From the Celtics perspective, he technically isn't a free agent.
He's a restricted free agent.
He's a restricted free agent. He could just play on the $4.5 million qualifying offer, whatever he has next year. So it's not a big rush for the Celtics right now.
All right, there was a report about Rodney Hood. We'll move to him now. It's apparently a 3-team race. The Kings,
Better
the Bulls,
idea.
and the Cavs.
Better idea
Yes,
for the
it
Kings.
does. For
much
all
better
teams
idea.
involved,
yes,
actually.
much better idea for the Kings because they need someone at the two-guard position that's a knockdown shooter.
That can shoot.
Hood would be
or
a
they
great
can play
fit.
him at the 3 if they wanted to.
Absolutely. Hood would be a great fit on the Kings next to De'Aaron Fox. With Boyan there, Buddy Hield. You give a really fun lineup with, let's say you go with De'Aaron Fox, Buddy Hield, along with Rodney Hood, Marvin Bagley, and then
Bogdanovich plays somewhere in that rotation
maybe
too.
you put Bagley at center if you don't care about defense. But I think Rodney Hood will end up back in the Cavs. I think they have to. Can't really afford to at this point. They're going to match his deal. They have to.
The Cavs have very limited young talent. Mm-hmm. You don't let young talent leave.
No, you don't.
Now, if the price gets out of control, maybe we can revisit it. But I think for the Cavs, it makes the most sense to say, Hood, go get your money. We'll match it.
You want to surround playmaking point guards with shooters. And I think with the Cavs specifically, as with the Kings, and also with the Bulls, it's just a good option to have. I mean, look, I like what the Kings are going to do this year. They're not going to win any games, but they have a lot of fun different lineups that they can do with Hield, Giles, Stein, Cauley Stein with Bagley, Fox. They have a lot of really fun
Zebo every now
players.
And then.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm excited what the Kings can do. I think Hood would fit into that, but Hood's fit with the Bulls is a little bit sketchier to me. I mean, they have Chris Dunn. They have Levine. They just drafted Chandler Hutchison. They already have Justin Holiday, though he is 30 years old. I think Rodney Hood would be a good fit. I just don't know. Like, if you're the Bulls and you're trying to rebuild, why pay a ton of money for Rodney Hood when you could just start Chandler Hutchison and develop him instead in the starting lineup?
Why not both?
Yeah, sure. Why not both? Where are you going to play Zach LaVine?
The big key, of course, with Hood is which Hood do they get? Do they get Utah Jazz Hood and near end of playoffs Hood, or most of Cavs Hood, including the playoffs where he was a non-factor at times?
I think
inconsistent as being nice up there.
I think that Rodney Hood still needs to be thought of as Utah Jazz Rodney Hood. I understand that the Cavs situation didn't go well for him, but he also walked into a very weird situation on that team. A lot of moving parts. D-Wade, Isaiah Thomas going out. He's coming in to be a big-time factor on this team. Mm-hmm. He goes to the playoffs, and all of a sudden they want to play him in crunch time. It's a weird overall fit for Hood. I think I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
We'll stick with the RFA theme here. Clint Capela, he is up next, and the Rocket negotiations aren't going too well. Houston reportedly wants a deal around 4 years, around $60 million. Mm-hmm. Some say 53, but around $60 million. Capela wants more of the Zach LaVine deal. Give me 4 years, $80 million.
Yeah, he also wants something maybe close to what Steven Adams got at 5 years, $100 million, but I don't think that's going to end up happening. Just
$20 million a year.
I do not understand why the Rockets are playing such hardball with this guy. You've already lost arguably the best – no, not arguably. You already lost your two best wing defenders in Trevor Reeves and Luke Mbah-a-Moute. And Clint Capela was the best defensive player on your team last year, so you're going to lose – 3 of the 4 best defensive players on your team?
I think the issue is not that you're going to lose Capela this year, because not many teams can actually offer the money that he wants. But what happens if Capela says, you know what, I'm done with this. I'm going to take the qualifying offer, and then he's gone next year.
I just don't get it.
That's the danger you're playing if you're Houston.
How is he not an absolute 100 million% priority for the Rockets? How are they afraid? Are they really afraid of giving him a max deal? If there was any restricted free agent at all this entire offseason, I would give a max deal to. It is absolutely Clint Capela. He has progressed very well. He knows the system, and he's the perfect fit on your team. You built your entire defense around him. Now you won't pay him? Look, the Thunder paid Steven Adams, and it has paid off huge dividends for them. Steven Adams is a fantastic player for them. How much better is Steven Adams than Clint Capela at Capela's age? I just think that if it's going to work out well for you if you're the Rockets. And also, not to mention, you just gave Chris Paul $160 million at age 33, and at age 25, you won't give Capela $80?
I remain not as high on Clint Capela, but for what Houston has done, if you lose Capela, you're going to play Nene.
Oh, yeah, baby. Here comes the Nene.
You're going to play Nene big minutes at center?
It was Ryan Anderson.
Ruins your defense.
It makes no sense. They have no other defenders down low. I don't understand the hardball being
Houston's
played
trying to win right now. Keep Clint Capela without a doubt.
Weird.
Speaking of Houston, how about Carmelo Anthony? Again, the report from Woj, if you guys missed our show last night, is that after the Rockets lost to Ariza and Luke Mbah-a-Moute, that Houston is now determined to sign Carmelo Anthony. It's going to happen, my man.
It is going to happen. And I want to make this clear. I am fine with the Rockets getting Carmelo because I think he's a good fit with them on offense. I just wonder, if you're the Rockets, can you really stomach playing hardball with Clint Capela if you're going to sign Carmelo? What are you doing? How can you really do that? So you lose Trevor Ariza, the best defensive wing you have on the team. You lose Mbah a Moute, a guy who wanted to be back, the second best wing defender on your team. You're going to lose Clint Capela if you don't bring him back. Well, they're probably not going to lose him, but they're pissing him off for sure. And you're going to replace the two best wing defenders on your team with Melo and not have any other defensive player. Yeah. Seriously, I brought this up yesterday, and you can just go through the Western Conference. Who's defending Kevin Durant? PJ Tucker?
PJ Tucker.
Good luck. That's fun. That worked out well the first time. Who plays defense against the great
Tucker was the Raptor stopper against LeBron.
Let's say Kawhi Leonard ends up coming back for the Spurs. Who's defending Kawhi Leonard on the Rockets?
They're going to
get absolutely Who's defending LeBron freaking James?
PJ Tucker.
Yeah,
that's
baby,
who's guarding
here
them.
We go. This is why the Melo thing doesn't make sense to me. He's now going to be your primary wing defender, and boy, oh boy, did that work out poorly for the Thunder last year.
It's not about the defensive signing for Carmelo. It's bringing back some more scoring because you lost Ariza. You need him on the bench in terms of scoring. It also allows you to keep Eric Gordon as your sixth man. I think you're underrating that a bit.
I think and you know what? You're right. Putting Eric Gordon back on the bench is really good, but the Rockets last year were not only a great offensive team. The reason that they did such a good job, especially in the playoffs against the Warriors, was because of their defense. The reason they were up 3-2 in that series was because of their defense and Chris Paul. And now all they have coming back is Chris Paul. Where's the defense? James Harden isn't going to turn into a great defender overnight. So they got to get someone in here who can play some D.
All right, a note here from the Washington Post after the Magic went out and traded for Jerry Grant. Seems like they don't have much interest in Isaiah Thomas anymore.
Nope.
If Memphis and the Pelicans and the Nuggets pass on Isaiah Thomas, which I think is a possibility, the report from the Post is he may not get signed until the season starts, which is insane to me.
This is super weird.
Yeah.
This is super weird. I wonder if NBA teams know something about Isaiah Thomas's hip that we currently don't, because all the reports that we were going to have is that Isaiah Thomas was going to be healthy by this offseason. He hasn't been super active on social media. Nothing really crazy going on with Isaiah Thomas in terms of rumors or reports, and everyone's just kind of scratching their head like, when is this dude going to get signed? I think he's going to be a bargain bin pickup for a playoff team. I mean, I understand the relationship is obviously strained, but why don't the Celtics make a run at him?
They got enough guards.
Who's backing up Kyrie right now? It's Terry Rozier, fine. Mm-hmm. And then after that, it's Brad Wanamaker.
Smart can play some points. So.
Smart can play some points.
That's all you need.
They don't really have a true two-guard on this team.
You need 2.5.
I wonder where Isaiah Thomas really ends up, but I think he'll be a bargain pickup for a playoff team. Another team I would love to see him on? The Bucks. Love to see him on the Bucks. I think he could bring a lot of scoring to their backcourt.
Interesting. They have the size to kind of make up for his issues on defense.
Oh, they definitely have the size. That's all they really have on this team right now.
All right, folks, keep those comments coming as to where you think Isaiah Thomas will play this year. We'll be back with some NBA free agency winners and losers, but first, a very quick message.